It's an ultimatum and logical fallacy. You must know abuse immediately, or you stay there forever. You don't call it out early enough, there's a statute of limitations, not only in the courtrooms, but in the courtroom of life. No one's going to believe you. I don't like statute of limitations. I think it's a joke to expect people to not be traumatized for years. That they'll get it immediately and go, oh shit, I was raped. Oh shit, I was abused. And then comes the fact of, what abuse happened? Well, was it physical abuse? Okay, that's the top tier right there. Was it emotional abuse? I don't know what that is. Was it psychological abuse? I don't know what that is. The problem with all this is that the logical fallacy and ultimatum of this is that anyone who experiences things will not be trusted by their experience, because we live on in our regular normal lives every day. We're not living in the panic and the upsetness and in the anger. Well, I mean, we're machines to the rest of the world. That's all we are. We're not the emotional things that we put ourselves together with. No one wants to see those. Did you not see all my emotional responses recently? They're all about what people don't want to talk about. So, must know abuse immediately. Okay, well, let's take that route for a second. Let's say you know abuse immediately, but let's say you don't know what to do after you know it. Okay, I know this is abuse. Well, what if you don't know the next step? I highly doubt the person who's abusing you is teaching you, this is what you do if someone's abusing you. And I know what you're saying out there. Well, there has to be someone out there they could talk to about this. Well, I'm going to give you an example from my personal life. My family, Sid. Blood family. Sid, don't say anything that we share to the outside world. Well, that was the thing that burgeoned me into the crevice that I'm in right now. No. Don't want to be in that crevice, so I left them. Because the biggest joke in the world is to say, keep this private. That probably means you're not doing something well intended for the person that you're with and the person that you're telling that to. Let's take the other route. Stay there forever. Now that's an ultimatum if I've ever heard one. So because you don't understand abuse, you have to stay in the abuse in the entire rest of your life. You can't make a move in any other way. That's basically the United States for me. I guess I kind of skipped over that for a second, but America is an abusive relationship. United States is an abusive relationship. And we live in it constantly. So having these kind of ultimatums and logical fallacies literally means that whether or not you understand something, you have to catch it at the crevice of that time of that statute of limitations. Well, what's the point of catching criminals if we only have a certain amount of time to catch them? That's kind of useless. And I guess on the other end of it, it comes to the Me Too movement and the cancel culture that everyone's calling out still. Which I think is a big joke. If you literally think people are just going to go out of their way to lie, they have to face the consequences too of lying. Whether it's literally through the court system and found out that they're lying, or on the other end of it, the consequences of lying in general. And if literally everyone was doing this whole thing on purpose, rather than from an actual event that occurred to them, everybody would be under attack. There'd be nobody left because we're so happy. That hasn't changed. And if we're so happy, why has this just started to be something that you have to credence to this identity of? It's just cancel culture. They're just canceling everybody. No, there's consequences for actions. That's all it is. Everybody's actions. It's not foibles anymore, like the 1920s or something that we're okay with still. No, there's consequences for actions. That's as simple and not satirical as it is. And that's what I learned. In my own personal life, everyone basically, back in my old home, Sid, you got to know the abuse immediately, or you stay there forever. No thanks. No ultimatum needed. No logical fallacy. I'm going to understand the logical fallacy, not be involved in it.